And what has been my crime? My crime has been to confess publicly Christ as Savior.
The signs are rapidly fulfilling.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, ladies ensemble. That's a good practice. At the same time, a good presentation, a good message in preparation for next year. We got a fellowship, Era 7 fellowship, and that's already a preparation that we got some concert in the afternoon. So, blessings. And if there is a ladies ensemble, we got also men ensemble. So, next Sabbath. Yeah. The song reminding us that he became a man. And you know the meaning of that word, brothers and sisters, when he became a man, it means he is not man. He just became a man. And the last part, he is a Lord. The Lord is only one who can become a man. Man cannot become a God, but God become a man. And you know the goodness, brothers and sisters, I'm so happy that he became a man. Because by his incarnation, you and me that I'm so sinful, humanity full of sin and iniquity and wickedness, you name it, brothers and sisters, there is an assurance of hope. This beautiful afternoon, brothers and sisters, I just want to give you a one, because of the time. When I look at the time, I really, terrified with the time. When you look at, I got a lot of things to say, but the time is not with us. But I would like to give one verse for us to consider. And I think that one verse we will dissect and, dig deeper. When you are uh, in the kitchen, when you use the knife, you need to cut cross side. And that's what we'll be doing this afternoon. In this one text, in Revelation chapter 2, verse 8. Anyone who can read for me, please? Revelation chapter 2 and verse 8. That's already enough for us, to consider this text. Anyone who can read, please.
To the angel of the church in Smyrna, write, these things saith the first and the last, which was dead and is alive.
Unto the church in Smyrna. Thank you, Sister Gift. This is a very crucial point for all of us. When the song says he became a man, brothers and sisters, in Revelation chapter 2, verse 8, God is already giving us the hint that God so loved the Smyrna people that he became a man. And the good news, brothers and sisters, is that in the book of Revelation, it's not an incident, it's not an accident that the last book of Revelation was written AD 100. And we will not understand the book of Revelation until you go back to the first book of the Bible. Because whatever unveiling in the book of Revelation, unveiling, that's the book of Revelation, is actually presented for us in detail in the book of Genesis. The book of Genesis opened the foundation of what will be unveiling in the future. And God is saying, I will close and I will, what was said and written before, I would like to open it and unveil it to the human race. And the question this evening, this afternoon, brothers and sisters, what are the things that God unveiled in the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 8? What's this? This word, write the message to Smyrna. What's the next word? Who was? The first. Now think of brothers and sisters, the first. God is already giving us the example that there was the first. In our world today, they are talking about, when it comes to creation and evolution. A lot of people, when people think about evolution, you need to have a lot of faith in order for you to study and believe evolution. Because the first one happened at creation. God is saying, I am the first God who created everything, nobody else. And some people and some theologians, and maybe some genius, trying to say that, the Big Bang is the beginning of the whole universe. In the first place, brothers and sisters, when the first bang happened, no scientist was present. Therefore, brothers and sisters, we can say that the first God mentioned, I am the first God, created the world. And in that creation, God is saying, I am giving my full grace and love to my creation, especially human being. And God is saying, I am the first one. And because I am the first one, I'm now unveiling myself that the one who created first in the beginning, I am unveiling in revelation so that you will know, Smyrna, that when you will be put in the fiery trial, because in verse 9 and 10, you will be put in tribulation. But when you're in tribulation, so long as you know that there's the first one who created and sacrificed himself, then whatever tribulation you will be encountering, you will stand up and you will be standing firm before God. Because God is saying, if I am with you, if I am at the first creation, I will be with you in your suffering. The Smyrna church, brothers and sisters, this is the church, actual church in Turkey. When you got time, when you got money, if you go somewhere for holiday, probably consider the 7 churches in Turkey. Because what happened in Turkey, brothers and sisters, God is saying the Bible is really true, because what was stated in the Bible, you can go and visit that place. And a lot of people, a lot of churches, these 7 churches, unearthed by the archaeologists. And this is one, and the goodness, brothers and sisters, this is the goodness. The Smyrna is the only of this among 7 that is alive today, that's still a city, ongoing at the moment, and you can they call that Smyrna in Turkey. And that's the goodness, brothers, that God, when He said something in the Bible, is true. And the goodness is what happened in Smyrna, brothers and sisters. Now take note here, when I say I am the first and the last, because I am the first who created, I am the first one who created mankind, and God is saying now, I am also the last who will give the activity in order to redeem this mankind. Because the story, brothers and sisters, that in that paradise, in the first paradise, in the first garden, created by the first creator, now what happened to man? Man disobey God, and the disobedience is actually rebellion against God. That's why the reason why, brothers and sisters, that men and women run away from God, because they will rebelling against the first creation, the first creator, and then the first plan of redemption. God is saying, I become a man because I want to get you. I'm the first one. And the goodness is, brothers and sisters, that He will be the last who will say and declare that the enemy is broken and the enemy is defeated. That's why in Genesis chapter 3, verse 15, brothers and sisters, God is saying to the woman, I will crush the head of the serpent. And that's an illustration, brothers and sisters, that in the future, I will destroy, I will crush the enemy, because I'm the last one who can redeem mankind. And in the process of redemption, brothers and sisters, the last action happened where? At Calvary. On that Friday afternoon when Jesus Christ said, it is finished. You know what's the meaning, brothers and sisters? In that mountain. In Matthew, it is a description of Mount Golgotha. And the word Golgotha is the place of the skull. Question, brothers and sisters. When Jesus was on the hilltop of the mountain, whose skull was defeated and destroyed? Jesus Christ in that mountain, in that Golgotha. You see? All a representation, brothers and sisters. God is saying, I am the last who will give a declaration that the enemy will completely be destroyed. And in that Golgotha, in some word, Calvary, the last action and the last fight. And it was the last declaration of God, I redeem mankind. Because in the next phrase, what's the next word? The first and the last? And he was dead. Now think about it, sister. When you say dead, who are supposed to die first? Yeah? We are dead. Because in the first garden, in the first creator, in the first paradise, man made a first mistake. And the mistake will lead you to death. And the good news, brothers and sisters, in the book of Smyrna is he was dead. You are supposed to die. But somebody died for you. And the question, brothers and sisters, who was the first one who acknowledged the death message of the gospel? Anyone? The first human being who acknowledged about death recorded in the Bible. In Revelation, who was dead? Question, who was the first human being acknowledged the death gospel of Jesus Christ? Who was the first man? Anyone? Genesis chapter 2 verse 21, who was the first man? Yeah? Adam was the first man who acknowledges that someone need to die. I am supposed to die. But before he acknowledged, brothers and sisters, when God said to him, what have you done, Adam? Adam said, Lord, the woman you created. Woman, what have you done, woman? The serpent. But when Adam gave the first acknowledgement of death through the sacrificial animals, what happened to Adam? According to the Spirit of prophecy, brothers and sisters, that was the first time Adam saw that there was a death of the innocent animal in his hand. And he was trembling with compassion and fearfulness about the death. But my simple, what we call rebellion against God will result to this actual death of the animal. The good is, brothers, in Revelation, he was dead. Because Adam supposed to die on that very moment. But there is already a Revelation 2:8 message. God is saying, you will supposed to die, Adam, but he will die for you. That's why the song says, he became a man. Because by becoming a man, he will die for the human race. You cannot kill God, brothers and sisters, at Calvary. You cannot kill God. In order for God to fulfill the incarnation story in redeeming mankind, he needs to become a man so that he will go through the agony of that what we call sin agony of mankind. And now, by his death, on that Friday when he shouted, it is finished, Jesus Christ is saying, I restored you. I accomplished my mission. I die. I give my life. The enemy, brothers and sisters, oh, I got you. Genesis chapter 2 verse 15, he was wounded on the heel. And now the enemy Satan said, I got you. Now you'll be in the tomb. And now Satan, because of his big plan in order to destroy the enemy, what did he do? What did Satan did? Satan put a Roman seal. You know when you see the Roman seal? It is a Roman authority. Question, whose authority was that? Roman is just a puppet. You know, somebody using the Roman. You need to keep him at the grave. And I put the seal. Question, who was seal was that in reality? Is the seal of Satan trying to say, remain in the grave. Stay in the grave. But the goodness, brothers and sisters, I like the statement of Matthew that, when the resurrection morning, The angel of God went and then took that seal out on the stone. And you know what happened? The angel sit down on that mark of seal of the enemy. God is saying, I am sitting under your authority. You have no more power. Why no more power, brothers and sisters? Because the seal of Satan cannot hold Jesus Christ on the grave. Because at Friday, when he declared, it is finished, he was dead. But the good news, brothers and sisters, on that Friday, dead, and Saturday, dead in the grave. But on that Sunday morning, the tomb was empty. What's the next word? He was dead and is alive. And that's the goodness, brothers and sisters, that God we serve. He died so that by his death, he will alive on a Sunday morning. Because sin has no more power in your life and in my life. And what happened, brothers and sisters? It is a living testimony to the Smyrna church. Smyrna church, as I experienced death, you will experience trouble, persecution, you name it, brothers and sisters. Number one, the Smyrna church experience, slander. You know the word slander? Will someone falsely accuse you? What happened in the Roman world, brothers and sisters? There was an emperor named Nero said, we will burn the city, the empire. And that burning, have you heard that one, the story? And there are some even movie and film that Nero burned that city and that empire. And you know what happened? The evilness of the enemy, the slander is that Nero said, the one who's burned our city is the Christians. The first slander, brothers and sisters. Slander. Are you able to stand up slandering? Somebody tells falsely about you. Some people will say, what have you said, sister? What have you? Because some people, they cannot hear slander. Because anything like that is injustice, unfair. But the Smyrna church brothers members experiencing slander, but in that slander they remain faithful. You know what happened? Another point with the Smyrna people they encountered persecution. To the point, brother and sister, that they were put to death in that persecution. Many of you will die. And you know what happened? You know what happened, brothers and sisters? In Revelation chapter 2, verse 10, some of you will be put to death 10 days. Satan will put you in a prison, persecution, death, even for 10 days. Tribulation for 10 days. And scholars, they are united in saying that the 10 days is actually 10 years. Because when you go for the history, brothers, in the Roman world, from 303 to 313, that was the heavy persecution of the Christians under Diocletian, brothers and sisters, that anybody who will carry and hold and proclaim and declare the name of Jesus, you will be put to prison, even death. And some even put in the Colosseum, played, and they were played with lions to the extent they were dead. How many days, brothers and sisters? 10 days. What I'm saying this afternoon, brothers and sisters, what happened in Smyrna is just a reflection of what will happen of the modern Smyrna in our time today. Because you might be thinking that Smyrna, that's past. That's in Revelation chapter 2, verse 8. The Smyrna people. But brothers and sisters, I would like to tell you, there's a Smyrna in the future. And as the Smyrna in the olden times experienced physical persecution, physical slander, physical trouble, the modern Smyrna. Question, who's this modern Smyrna? The Revelation of John give a description that they are the remnant. The remnant, the modern Smyrna, will experience the same experience before Satan, and now before the emperor is the one declaring, slandering, persecuting, and even to the point of death. But here, in the modern time, brothers and sisters, you know what will happen? The one that used the Roman Empire, the Roman Emperor, Satan himself, will come to the point of slandering, persecuting the people of God, the modern Smyrna. The question, brothers, is what are you going to do? I'm glad you asked. Because in the midst of slander, in the midst of persecution, and in the midst of death, God is saying, do not be, what's now his word? Do not be, what? Do not be afraid. Why, brothers and sisters? Why we should be afraid? Because He's the first God who delivered the people of God, and He's the first one who will come to the rescue. Be thou, what's the next word? Be thou, what's the word? Be thou faithful unto death. What you need to do, brothers and sisters? Brothers and sisters, modern Smyrna, be thou faithful. Be thou faithful. And after that, when we are faithful to death, what happened? I'm giving you the Stephanos. That's the word Stephanos, a crown of victory. Meaning, brothers, there's no crown until you stand firm and not be afraid in the middle of the fiery trials and tribulation. You might be saying you're not real, pastor. That's not true. Come with me. Let's go to Daniel chapter 3. There is a 3 men. What's the name of the 3 men? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They were in the actual Babylon, in the actual fiery furnace. And they were persecuted and put in the oven of the fiery troubles and problems. But you know what happened? Somebody came to walk with them in the fire. That's why God is saying, don't be afraid. Because you are experiencing that slander and trouble. I already experienced it. Look at me. I have been given to the point of death. But when you are faithful to death, I will give you the crown of life. I would like to end with a story of the bishop known Polycarp. Anybody know? You might be hearing about the name Polycarp. And he was the bishop of Smyrna. But in that time, brothers and sisters, according to many scholars, some says that Polycarp is the disciples of John the Revelator. But when Jesus got the disciple John and Jesus experiencing fiery troubles, the same as the followers of John named Polycarp. And you know what happened with Polycarp? He was stabbed to death and even put to the martyrdom and even died with a burning, is it a burning? You are in the wood and on the top of the wood burning, and then you are there at the top. That's how Polycarp died. But you know what happened with Polycarp? He died in faith with God. And for us, brothers and sisters, when we die, yes, we will die physically. There is no option about it because the wages of sin is death. But when we are dead in God, there's no more power about what happened with my physical body because God is saying, you are already dead with me. Now, even if Satan will put his death decree, it doesn't matter. Why? Because you're already dead. And God is saying, when you are faithful to the end, I'll give you the crown of life. This beautiful afternoon, we are talking about death. And in the communion service is a story of death. Jesus died because when we eat the bread, is a representation of His body. And when we drink the grape juice, is the representation of His blood. And the body and the blood in the communion service, giving us the fire and the power to move forward that Christ died, yes, but I'm with you in your trouble. That's why in verse 9 it says, I know your work. Are you happy, brothers, that God knows you? God knows me. God knows that even before we were born, God is saying, I know you and even your tribulation. But you, even though you are poor, but you are rich. Because God giving us the riches of heaven beyond compare. God will bless us this afternoon as we meditate that the Smyrna church is the story of the modern Smyrna. If we remain faithful, God is saying, I'll give you the Stephanos of life, Stephanos of victory, and the crown of life will be experienced by all. God will bless us this afternoon as we meditate on God's faithfulness and thoughtfulness and love.
End of all
And give me
things is
time to
near at
the
hand.
next part of
The signs are rapidly fulfilling. Yet it would seem that but few realize that the day of the Lord is coming. The end of all things is near at hand. The signs are rapidly fulfilling. Yet it would seem that but few realize that the day of the Lord is coming swiftly, silently, as a thief in the night. Many are saying peace and safety, unless they are watching and waiting for their Lord. They will be taken as in a snare, a science of the devil. What is soon coming upon